What's up, Habs fans? Welcome back. Well, it didn't take too much longer for Kent Hughes to continue prospect season for the Montreal Canadiens, as now we're officially in the off season. So it's nice to jump back on here with you guys and talk about another signing, another forward prospect, another scoring prospect. Riley Kidney signing his 3-year entry-level deal with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, there is quite a bit. Now, I try to say this in a lot of my prospect videos lately, but you don't want to prop these guys up too quick. Ultimately, yes, they are still just prospects, but we're going to get a chance to see these guys. And based on what we've seen from them so far, I'm getting excited about this young offensive team that Kent Hughes has said from the time that he got here, from the first opening press conference, that he wants to build. So the more we see pieces added to that vision of the kind of team that Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton want to build, a highly skilled, high octane, offensive, exciting, fast team, the more that we want to talk about it and get excited about it, because it's all about the future right now for this Montreal Canadiens team. And bringing in Riley Kidney, somebody that we're still learning more and more about as we go. But let's talk right away about his attributes, and then we'll talk about the things that the Habs want him to work on right here as he approaches possibly his first NHL season with the Montreal Canadiens, however soon he makes his debut. So let's talk about Kidney's attributes. So first and foremost, a playmaker. So that's one of the top things we've learned about him. Also, his stick handling, his unpredictability. So this is something that I really liked when I found out more about him, is that, he's a playmaker, great stick handling, but you don't always know what he's going to do next. You think he's going to shoot, you think he's going to pass, and then he's using his peripheral vision to make a play that you don't even see. So that's something that you have to like from an offensively talented player. And one thing, of course, that's important to mention, yes, is that he is a center. I haven't mentioned that, yes, is that Riley Kidney is a centerman. So another center prospect here. And I mean, you think about the potential of adding Shane Wright or Logan Cooley, another center, another top line center, possibly for the Montreal Canadiens in the draft. If we get top two, for sure, I think we're going to take one of those two. So anyway, but before we look too far ahead, let's talk about Riley Kidney more as well. So he's a pass first kind of guy because of the fact he is a playmaker. Really good on the back check as well. So he looks at the middle of the ice, he protects the middle of the ice. And you know what? Let's just talk right here from credit to Elite Prospects and their NHL draft guides. Let's just read right from here more about Riley Kidney. The winger's tools, especially his puck handling abilities and his offensive habits, the way he attacks at a high pace, scans before getting the puck, and receives every one of them in motion. And for that reason, they kept an eye on him throughout the course of the season. He has real problem-solving skills. You can see him bounce the puck off his skates and instantly dangle through defenders. And no better example we saw of that than if you look on YouTube for yourself. This goal right here, the overtime highlight reel goal from Riley Kidney, putting it between his legs and first, before even getting to this, kicking the puck to himself and then making the play and scoring that big goal. So, and what I also liked at the end of this play from Riley Kidney was that he just literally did a shoulder shrug at the end. This is an overtime winner, a highlight reel overtime winner through the legs, and he just shrugs it off like it's another goal. I love seeing that from the kid, because you see these big celebrations, you see the big sellies from kids, and I know that's where the game is going. It's all about having fun again, and all these highlight reel goals, what have you. But I like the poise from him on that play, just acting like he'd done it before almost. And if you look at even his stats from just this past season, 66 games, 30 goals, 70 assists for 100 points in those 66 games. So clearly a playmaker, Riley Kidney is. Now let's talk about what the Habs want him to work on. So they specifically spoke to Riley about the things that they want him to improve on heading into next season. Well, they want him to work on his size. He's 5'11". He was listed at 168 pounds when he was drafted, but now he's at about 173. But they want him to work on his size, his explosiveness, and his speed. So he's more calculated when it comes to his skating. He's not an explosive skater, but they do want him to work on that. So that's where we're hopefully going to see some improvement, have him fill out his frame a bit more, and then be able to use his size and his speed along with his skill, which of course we know is his playmaking abilities. And if you even go back to this again, stick handling. If you really look at his stick handling, looking at the highlights, and some of you guys already have done that, you can see the potential that he has. Very quick with his hands, the playmaking and the peripheral vision, like I mentioned. The unpredictability is where you have to get excited, I think. That's why I mentioned that. But and his exceptional hockey sense. So I mentioned this also about even Joshua Roy. And Joshua Roy was one of his opponents in the QMJHL. So Riley Kidney, also 19 years old, just a little bit older than Joshua Roy. So having these guys come in, again, potentially just building up the prospect cupboard in terms of offensive talent. And then if we really can, once again, add something from the top two in this draft, it's going to be looking good for the Habs. And you don't want to prop them up too high, these guys, like I mentioned, but it is a good reason to get excited about the kind of team that Kent Hughes envisioned, and now he's delivering on more and more by signing these young prospects. And Joshua Roy was, again, our second round pick, 63rd overall in last year's 2021 NHL entry draft. Somebody that people have had their eyes on, and they've kept their eyes on him to see his development path. And now that the Habs have not only this rebuild going for them, but also they've really rebuilt the hockey ops department. So we know that these guys are hopefully going to be developed a lot better and take the time that they need to and break into the NHL when they're good and ready. And maybe they're going to go in a little earlier, because if you want to shot at the Connor Bedard sweepstakes next year to really go even more after a high octane offensive team, you got to take a shot at Connor Bedard and just let these kids play. That's what I think you got to do. So that's my opinion on the matter anyway. But, do your research on this kid. But, man, the Habs bringing him in for this 3-year entry-level deal at a good time when it is the offseason. So why not? And let the guys come in next season and just have an opportunity. And that's what Kent Hughes said in his end of the season media availability, is that a lot of these young players are going to play next season. We're really going to see a chance. They're really going to give them a chance at the pro level. And some of them may be better suited for Laval. That's fine, but they're going to get a chance to develop properly, and they won't be rushed. It's time to usher in these new kids, this new generation of Habs players. So that's why I think we have an opportunity to be excited and see what they can do. All right, guys. So stay tuned later a little bit tonight, as I'm going to be releasing a full episode of my Deeks and Vaca podcast with my buddy Eric. Also going to be bringing in Damon from Habs tonight as we release our NHL brackets. We're actually going to talk about other teams besides the Montreal Canadiens, sharing our NHL playoff brackets for this 2022 playoff season. It's going to be fun to talk about that. So do join us later on. I'm not sure that we're going to be live. I thought about doing it live, but it might be pre-recorded, going to be released sometime around 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. So stay tuned for that, guys. And let me know, leave a comment down below. What do you guys think about Riley Kidney? I want to know your thoughts on him. Give me your pointers on how you're liking the way the rebuild's continuing to shape up here. So always appreciate the comments. Love jumping back on so soon with you guys. So talk to you soon, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers.